welcome to In the Sheds for round 11 of the Group 9 Rugby League competition. Today we're joined by a special guest from the Tumut Blues. It's their coach, Eric Smith. Eric, welcome. Great times at Tumut at the moment, 5 straight, and you guys looking pretty good. What do you put the turnaround down to?
Yeah, mate, it has been a good 5-week period for us, especially after the rough start we had. Mate, it hasn't been too much something we've been doing any different. What we've been working hard right from January. I think it just took a little while to click with the new combinations and new structures that I wanted to put in place with the boys. A lot of the boys there hadn't played under too much structure and all the structure that I brought to the club anyway. And I think it just took a little while for that to gel and a few combinations to strike up with blokes come back to the club and some new guys, some young guys who hadn't played too much first grade. So it's just a combination of those few things, and yeah, it has started to come together for us. In the last 5 weeks, we've had a pretty good run.
Last week, 32-28 over Brothers. Probably pretty happy with the performance, except for probably the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, who'd want to be a coach, eh? These close finishes, we're getting good at them. No wonder I'm losing my hair. But yeah, mate, it was probably not our best performance in the first half. There was probably a 10 or 15 minute period in that second half where I think our big 3 blokes through the middle, Menzies, Backy and Joe, really turned the game around for us and got us on the front foot. And Josh and young Topo were able to take advantage of that. Probably thought that we had put them away there at the end. We got out to 32-18, I think it was, and a little bit disappointing they got them a couple of last tries. But in saying that, mate, yeah, it's still 2 points for us.
Speaking of Josh Tui and Jacob Toppin, how big are they going to be sort of heading in towards that finals period for you guys?
Yeah, mate, they've really been great for us. I guess Josh is probably the experienced player, and you can't expect that kind of football from Josh. He's been playing good football for a number of years now, but young Topo, he's been a real surprise package this year. He's really excelled in the dummy half position. His running game and kicking game has really been superb for us, and as you've seen against Brothers, he scored another 3 tries out of dummy half. So, mate, they're both really important keys. Josh, probably more so, he's our leader, on-field leader, and he's the one that all the boys get their sort of leadership inspiration from. So, mate, both them guys are big keys in our team. We'll
speak about big Joe Ione as well, because he was unbelievable on the weekend. I've never seen a prop dominate a game so much as that guy had against Brothers. What do you tell him before he goes out of the shed?
Yeah, mate, he's definitely a handful, isn't he? Mate, he's a pretty quiet boy, Joe. He goes about his business pretty quiet. He doesn't say too much, but mate, we just tell him to go out there and just run the ball forward as hard as he can, because as you said in the weekend, it takes 4 or 5 blokes to tackle him every time. So if he can just go on, mate, and be doing that once in every set of 6, it really gets us on the front foot in that set of 6. So yeah, mate, he is a handful when he gets going. So yeah, he's a big part of our team as well when he's firing, Joe.
I guess the big tests come now over the next month. Cootamundra, Gundagai, South City, Albury. How do you approach that sort of next month of football?
Yeah, it is a big month for us. We've got the bye in there as well somewhere, which we're probably going to need going into this month. So, mate, we're trying not to approach it too much different. Obviously, what we've been doing is working for us at the moment. But in saying that, we know that the last 5 games we've won have been against teams that are below us on the ladder or equal to us on the ladder. So we know coming up against these top 4 teams, we've really got to lift in just about every area of our game if we're going to be competitive and get the win. So, mate, we've still got plenty of areas to improve on, and we know that. And we've actually got a couple of injuries as well now in the last couple of weeks, which is going to sort of test our depth a little bit. So, but in saying that, mate, it's probably a good test for us coming into the back end of the year. If we're considering being finals or in the finals at the end of the year, we've really got to be competitive against these teams.
So what about Cootamundra this week? You're at home against them, but it is the Hotel Coronation match of the round, we must mention as well. They're a tough side. How do you break them down? Yeah,
they've been a bit of a dark horse this year. And me and Josh Tui actually was speaking a few weeks ago about they're going to be a real contention at the end of the year. Mate, I haven't seen them play this year, to be honest. I haven't seen too much of them. Just going off their scorelines, and spoke to a few other guys that have played against them, and apparently they play a really tough game through the middle. So we're going to be really looking to match them through the forwards with our big guys as well. So hopefully our big 3 in the middle can perform what they did in the second half against Brothers on the weekend and get us on the front foot.
We'll take a look at some other games this round. Albury up against Junee down at Greenfield Park. Albury have been unbelievable, and Junee, you're probably thinking Nelly Gawn, they're definitely going to have to win this game.
Yeah, well, in saying that, I think Junee and Kangaroos are probably the 2 teams that we're most worried about for that sort of 5th spot sort of thing. So, mate, it's hard to go past Albury down there. So, we played them down there as well first up, and mate, they were pretty tough. Yeah, I'd have to say Albury get the points down there, mate.
Tumbarumba up against the Roos. Tumbarumba just falling short against Young last week, and the Roos, they'll be desperate for a win.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a bad turnaround for the Roos. They were sort of flying pretty high, and I think it sort of might have started with us when we beat them at home. They had a few losses on the trot. I'd like to say Kangaroos, but you can never rule Tumbarumba out. They're just one of those sides where if they turn up and their aggression and their tough style of football pays off for them, they can do a number on you. But I think Roos will be hurting after a few losses on the trot, and they'll be really keen to turn it around. So I'll probably pick the Roos just in a tight one.
Gundagai are in a similar boat to yourselves. They've won 5 straight as well. They're at home this week against Brothers. And what did you make of the Brothers side last week?
Yeah, the Brothers were good. They didn't give up. Like, they just kept turning up. They played consistently for 80 minutes, I think. And as you've seen, they were sort of probably beaten at the end, and they still kept turning up and scored 2 late tries and made it a pretty close game in the end. Mate, I think Gundagai's probably one of the red hot sides at the moment. I think they're really going to push for a grand final berth. I think they're going to be one of the teams that'll be there right at the end of the season. They're just starting to hit their straps. So, mate, I think Gundagai will get over Brothers there quite easily, actually. And
South City tomorrow is the last game. That one at Harris Park tomorrow have sort of fallen away a little bit, and South City continue to chip away at the top of the table there.
Yeah, that's right. South City are really going to miss Pete Little. He's been one of their good players. He played really well against us when they beat us at home, so he's going to be a loss for them. But in saying that, mate, I think they've just got too much class, and they'll get a win there easy, I think.
Time for our set of 6. 6 easy questions. You can answer them however you like. Feel free to stitch up anyone at the club. You've got to go back and coach them. So,
yeah.
Our first question is going to be the biggest pretty boy at the club. Who likes to do their hair?
The biggest pretty boy, well, mate. There's probably a few of them there, but if I had to pick one, I'd have to say Bugsy. Ben Mullins, our winger. He's got the worst head of blonde hair, peroxide blonde hair that I've ever seen, and he rates himself a fair bit. And he used to play with his hair all the time the first few games and fix it up as he was going into tackles and stuff. So we actually make him tape his hair up now so he can't play with it on the field.
The hardest trainer at the club?
Mate, to be honest, we all train pretty hard. It's hard to single out one bloke. We've been training really hard, but if I had to pick one, probably Jake Rantling, mate. He's always pretty keen and pushes himself at training.
I've seen your props. I've seen Big Joe the other day against Brothers, but backs or forwards, who's smarter?
Well, I started out my career as a back, but most of my senior football has been a forward. I've been a hooker, so mate, I have to say forwards are way smarter than backs.
That's a good save, actually. Embarrassing moment on the footy field for yourself?
For myself? I think when I was younger, playing school footy, when playing a school game, and I was getting tackled and a couple of blokes came and topped me, and I couldn't really see that well, and I've reached out and planted the ball down and left it there and jumped up, and then I've realised that it was a 10-metre line that I put the ball down. So that'd probably be one of them, mate, I'd say.
Current NRL player, if you could have one in your team right now, who would it be?
Ooh, mate, it's hard to go past Sammy Burgess as a forward in the middle, mate. I think, if you had to pick one, just his aggression and his toughness, mate, he'd be real handy to have at the moment.
And if you're lost on an island all by yourself, 3 things that you'd like to have with you?
3 things I'd like to have with me. Probably have to say a case of beer, a female companion.
I can see where this is going. Remember, everyone sees this.
Mate. And a fishing rod.
Fishing rod, that's pretty easy. Eric Smith, thanks for joining us, mate, and good luck for the rest of the season.
No worries, thanks, mate.
That has been Eric Smith from the Tumut Blues. Don't forget, get out there and support your local team in the Group 9 this week, and tune into the Group 9 website for the latest on Round 12.